we playing. But tonight, we've got an opportunity to affect the playoff race. These guys need the win, and we're standing in their way. So this game means something. And I intend to go out there and show them everything I got. Spoiler alert.
You're wearing the green today on this special presentation of the NBA on St. Patrick's Day. I'm Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. This is the last stop for the Raptors before returning to Toronto. And you look at this team, 12 games off the lead, but certainly a team that's won its share of games.
And they've had the edge against this team, winning the first two matchups.
He's checked in for Allen. And Harris subbed in for George Hill. Johnson, he's checked in for Toronto. Setting the floor for the Raptors. The star pair of Lowry and DeRozan are the guards. MyCareer is out there with James Johnson. And it's Valanciunas in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. And one thing about DeMar DeRozan, such sweet mid-range jump shooting accuracy. It was his bread and butter in college, and Greg, the same here in the pros.
He gets tremendous lift going up, really squares himself to the rim and releases it quickly. Almost an impossible shot to defend. I mean, that's a tough break for the D. I mean, he took the hit and drew the whistle.
Yeah, but he was late to get there, Greg, so the referee couldn't give him a free pass on that one.
Mark, one thing about Kyle Lowry, he has a bulldog mentality. We saw that from his days at Villanova.
No question about that, and I love that about him. He's very simple, not really flashy, just consistently beats the rock. He wears his opponents down.
And talking about Lowry, going to Toronto was a godsend for him. I mean, he had clashed with a number of coaches early in his career. His hard-headedness had been working against him. But in Toronto, he learned how to buy into a system and save the wrath for his opponent.
And for Lowry, he's been on fire the past couple of seasons. He's shown toughness, leadership, and the instinct to make winning plays on the court at both ends.
Outside DeRozan. And he banks in the layup. DeRozan's got 7 points.
And it looks like he might just be on his A game today, Clark.
Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time getting the lid off the basket so far.
Trying his luck deep. Harris missing again. Raptors leading by 3. Outside Lowry. Screened by Valanciunas. Lowry dishes to Valanciunas. That falls. Nice feed that time from Kyle Lowry. Valanciunas has got his second basket. Looking at the last game for the Indiana Pacers, it was a loss to the Boston Celtics.
And despite the outcome, I think they'll feel a little better about that game. There are a lot of positives that they can take away from that performance.
And I think that's exactly what they have to do, guys. Don't dwell on the final score. You know, think about the things you did well and move forward and take it from there. There's PG creating for a teammate. Terrific dime drop.
Lowry drives in. There's the pass to Carey. Back to Lowry. Here's Valanciunas. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
Yeah, good job to take it right at the D.
Yeah, really left him no choice there, Greg. He had to foul and keep him from converting the easy buckets.
And though he's been working on his offensive skills, defense and rebounding are Valanciunas' bread and butter. That was the case with him when he was playing in Lithuania, Clark, and it's the case now.
It still sure is the case. I mean, it's hard to find a guy with his combination of size, athleticism, and fluidity. Just a tad over-aggressive at times, but I'd rather have to turn a guy down than to turn him up.
Yeah, you've got to make sure your feet are set when you set those screens, or they're going to call that on you.
Well, I thought maybe he was set. I know that's a difficult call to make, but I think they might have missed that one.
46 seconds left to play in the first. Now, here's Joseph, guarded by Harris. Pass to Johnson. Cross in the corner. Good ball movement here by the Raptors. 5 on the clock. Fires from deep. The Raptors rebound. Rejected by Harris. Tries it from 19. Wants to get it to Hill and does. From deep 3-point range. Harris misses. Joseph. No luck. A free-flowing first quarter. Great scoring through 1. The Raptors out in front. They're up by 4. And we've got more NBA action on 2K Sports coming your way after this break. And forward James Johnson battled his way back into the league after some stints abroad. He talked about his approach to the game.
I play the game how it's supposed to be played. I play offense, I play defense, I rebound, steals, blocks. You know, I'm pretty much that guy who likes to work hard and don't want anybody to beat him out, you know, except the challenge.
That's exactly the kind of hard-nosed, old-school attitude that coaches just love.
Kevin, and so do his teammates. I mean, a guy like that brings out the best.
So Indiana ends up with a new group on the floor. A new group in now for the Raptors. Valanciunas, who's checked in for Patterson. MyCareer comes in for Luis Stoller. DeMar DeRozan, who's checked in for Ross. And it's Lowry in for Corey Joseph. So the Raptors 5 right now. Lowry and DeRozan are the guard tandem. Jonas Valanciunas is out there with James Johnson. And it's Carroll in at the 3 spot. And they now lead as the free throw drops for him. And a little under 3.5 minutes elapsed in this second quarter of play. Let's go to our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, what do you have?
Well, Kev, Freak in the last matchup against the Celtics had a nice performance. He ended with 7 points, and he was just about on target from everywhere, hitting from deep as well as sinking his free throws. It was a great contribution from someone who's considered a bit more of a role player on his team.
All right, thank you as always, Doris. And another special game from a player that we know is incredibly capable for this team.
Yeah, and he proved his value again in that last game. I mean, he's a cog in their machine, no doubt.
Yeah, and they're going to need a few other players to lend a bigger hand today. I mean, they can't expect him to carry the entire load 2 games in a row.
Hill passes to Harris. George sets a screen for Harris. 6 to shoot.
Well defended, though, and he's not someone who handles that kind of pressure very well.
And a wide open look for Valanciunas. No luck. And Indiana will go the other way with it. Last time they faced off, it was right here at home where they couldn't get it done.
Well, I mean, they lost their last matchup with this team, and foul trouble really plagued them throughout the game.
Yeah, I thought it was the carelessness, though, Greg. A lot of their starters had to have their minutes cut back as a result. I mean, they've got to play with much more discipline tonight.
The Pacers making a switch here. Allen's checked in. And the basket by Harris.
They're hovering around 50% for the game in 3-pointers. That's pretty good. But they've really elevated here in the second quarter.
They really want to find that igniter here.
Yeah, that's right. Kevin, the offense has basically been running in place.
They got to get going. Here's Carroll. Score of the basket. Nice shot after missing his first attempt.
Oh, boy. Woo-hoo. Sweet move. Tough finish. What a play.
Lowry against Harris. Hill a screen on Lowry. And it's Harris off the drive.
And a moment now to look at the numbers for Stuckey. He's putting up 9 points a game, 4 assists, and 2 rebounds. And the numbers won't wow you, but I like the effort he brings to the table each and every night.
Yeah, great hustle. Does all the little things. Just a good complimentary guy to have on your team. Check out the game for Harris. He has 9 points, and he's got 2 baskets from out in three-point land.
And I'm sure they'd like to get a few more of those out of him.
2-for-1 chance here.
Let's see if they use the clock to their advantage.
It's stolen by Harris. Jumps up. Rips down the breakaway slam.
And that's the kind of play you just do not want to give up defensively. You lose the possession and give up a quick 2 at the other end. That's losing basketball.
Especially when you can't afford to give up any buckets. That's a nice lead now.
And DeRozan kicks to Valanciunas. Another field goal for him. 4 for 6 shooting tonight.
You know, that's been a big part of their offense in the early stages. I mean, their success working the ball inside and getting points from close range, right at the rim.
And Clark, they might as well keep doing it. I mean, attack the basket until the defense makes an adjustment.
And George kicks to Harris. Pick up by Hill. With 1 on the clock, he got it up in time, but it wouldn't fall for him. And a pretty tightly contested game here as we end the first half. Pacers lead by 4. And now we'll send it down to Doris Burke, who's standing by courtside.
Thank you, Kevin and Dwayne. A very tight game here. What's the #1 thing you need to do in the second half to try to get out ahead and break this thing open?
Well, #1 is we got to make sure we get in a defensive disposition. You know, right now we're kind of trading buckets. We're anticipating, putting them on the foul line. So we got to play from an anticipatory style of defense, whereas we're not reacting to where they have us on our heels.
Coach, thanks for the time. Gentlemen, back to you.
Thank you, Doris, for that interview, and we'll see you back here after the break for the third quarter of basketball. And now the start of the second half. Neither side jumping out ahead through the first 2 quarters. You look at Freak in this game, he has been everywhere.
Yeah, how about that first half? He's already scored more points than he has.
So an entirely new group in now for Indiana. Mahinmi's checked in for Hill. Hill comes in for George. Rodney Stuckey's checked in for Monte Ellis. And Harris subbed in for Hill. Raptors also changing it up. Johnson comes in for Luis Stoller. And it's Joseph in for DeMar DeRozan. Harris in at point guard. Allen is out there with Hill. Then there's Rodney Stuckey, and it's Mahinmi in at the 5 spot. So that's the group out there for Indiana.
They haven't been as aggressive from outside as they were in the first half. They're playing smart with the lead. I like that. They're being very selective and deliberate in their offense. That's a good strategy when you're on top.
Lowry against Harris. Lowry kicks to Carroll. And again, Toronto no luck. Indiana leading. Stuckey into the lane. And he gets it to go.
That was the 3rd straight high percentage look this defense has allowed. I mean, these defenders have got to start bumping bodies in the paint. Be more physical. Be more aggressive.
The game's just far too easy right now when it comes to attacking the basket. They have got to do better.
Some big points there. I mean, they got him on a nice play to get the ball right to the bucket.
And exactly what they're looking for down the stretch, Clark. Just more of the same. And it was the screen there, guys, that freed him up as he ran his man into it.
And then it was all acceleration, GA, to the bucket right after that.
Almost a backboard breaker.
Lowry up top, guarded by Harris. And it's Lowry penetrating. An easy 2 points on the layup. Lowry's got 14 points.
I'll tell you what, the defenders didn't even get a sniff of him on that move to the hoop.
And thanks for joining us again as the fourth quarter of play is set to get an entirely new group in now for Indiana. Mahinmi's checked in for Lavoy Allen. Hill comes in for George. C.J. Miles, he's checked in for Ellis. And Harris subbed in for George Hill. A new group in now for the Raptors. Valanciunas, he's checked in for Patterson. Johnson comes in for Luis Scola. Terrence Ross is checked in for DeMar DeRozan. And Corey Joseph subbed in for Kyle Lowry. So the Raptors 5 right now. MyCareer is out there with James Johnson. Then it's Corey Joseph. Then there's Jonas Valanciunas. And it's Ross in at the 2-guard spot. 6 to shoot. Harris misses. Toronto with the ball. Carroll with it. Ross on the wing. Jacks up a 3. And it's Miles with the rebound. There's 25 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Here's Harris. Harris missing again. Joseph dishes to Ross. From past the arc, and that is good. Here is Harris. From deep three-point range, off target with that shot. So no problem for Indiana as they get the win. Some good moments throughout this one, but they had the clear advantage down the stretch.
Yeah, and I thought good execution really played a big part throughout.
And time now to go courtside as we send you over to Dorisburg from the side.
Cece.
Hey, how are you?
Good to see you again.
My pleasure.
Freak. Great game last night.
That's what I do, right?
Indeed. Have a seat. Pagnotti.
How you doing?
Thought you'd be selling used cars by now.
Funny, comedian. I thought you would have invested in some new clothes, being a team owner and all. I see you still rocking that Goodwill look.
Freak, what are you hanging around with this guy for? You know he's bad company, right?
Got no choice. He helps me pay the bills. Plus, our mother loves him.
Thank you all for coming by on such short notice.
You're welcome.
So you know why we're here, right?
Not really.
You want to negotiate an extension for Freak, right?
Well, since you mentioned it, your client is quickly becoming a liability for this organization.
We've already put a plan in place that's going to address all your concerns and issues.
Let me finish. Thank you. Myself, the front office, and the coaches are not satisfied with the adjustments you've made in your life off the court. I personally warned you about the company you keep, and we're fed up with the late nights and showing up late to shoot-arounds and the bad press and the incident at the nightclub. I told you Vic was going to be your downfall, and I was right. Something has to change now, or we're not going to need your services any longer.
If this is about that Twitter stuff, Vic was playing. Okay, it was a joke.
It's not about that. It's everything.
But like I told you before, Vic is my best friend. I can't just cut him off. He's practically family.
Not really.
What exactly are you trying to say?
I'm not trying to say anything, Dom. I'm saying it. Freak and his friend Vic are a problem for me and this organization. And I called you in here to figure out how we all together can fix this problem. And right now, I'm only seeing one solution.
I agree that Freak may need to make some adjustments in his personal life off the court, but that's a learning process. We both know that. But this almost sounds like a threat. And Dom Pagnotti doesn't take too kindly to threats. Is this a threat?
Call it what you will.
We all know that Vic is a problem. The only person who doesn't seem to realize that is my brother. I'm sorry, bro, but enough is enough.
I don't have a problem with what you're saying. I have a problem with how you're saying it. Now, I know we can come to some understanding without all the ultimatums or threats.
Can we all come to a understanding, a compromise?
No, no more compromises. I already warned Freak. I told you. Don't be a hero. Cut that zero. It's cut Vic loose, or we trade Freak. It's that simple.
Fine, we'll go sign with another team.
Good luck with that, Pagnotti. Because of Vic, Freak's reputation precedes him.
No, because of Freak's God-given talent, his reputation precedes him.
Everybody's been talking. Dom, you know how this works. This is not about you and me and our history. This is about your client. Help him.
You talking as if I'm invisible. You talking around me, about me, but not to me. Vic has always had my back. And I've given this team everything I got. I practice hard. I play hard. Yeah, some nights I got it, some nights I don't. Some days I might even show up a little late to shoot-arounds. But every time I'm on that court, I've always given my best. And I see how it is, though. I mean, us players got to be loyal to you, but you don't have to be loyal to us players. Try to give me some father and son talk, talking about how you love your players and how you look up for them. Come on, man. You trying to cut me off like you cut off Izzy. Don't you have people loyal to you no matter what? People you can't cut off? Well, that's me and Vic. Vic and me. Y'all insist, really. They could tell me stop hanging with Vic. What makes you think they won't tell me stop talking to you? You remember in 7th grade, some guys were trying to jump me over some girl. Vic was the one to get some friends just to walk me home. And when they came, we went at it, but I wasn't alone. When I got my scholarship, it was Vic who put the word on the streets that nobody should mess with me because I had a future. Vic was protecting me. And sir, I know Vic is crazy. But before all the hype and the lights, media, fans, it was just me and Vic. He's always been there. I mean, if y'all don't like that, I don't know what to say.
It hurts me to say this, but I see his point. What you don't understand is that the league doesn't have your back anymore. Not like they used to. They try, but it's too much. Social media has changed everything. And this last incident with Vic, that was the final straw.
It was a joke.
That wasn't funny. You know it wasn't a joke. Vic was defending you, stepping in to protect your honor by attacking another teammate like that? Talking about his manhood, his wife, his kids, his family, so you can be the big dog on the court? That's uncalled for.
And they all know your relationship with Vic, so they think it's coming from you.
But that's the media blowing everything out of proportion as usual.
It's not just the media. He's attacking other players, other teams. He's out of control. Vic just doesn't know how to behave.
We got guys on our squad who don't want to be here because of that beef. There is no place for that kind of inappropriate behavior in this league. If you can't trust your teammates, who can you trust?
What Vic is doing isn't right. He's bringing you down, and people can see it. I see how all the other players are looking at you. Oh, it's not cool. It's not cool at all.
What, don't talk to him? Don't hang with him?
You do what you got to do. That's your call. But let me tell you this. You asked me if I had friends that I couldn't cut off? Yeah, I did for a while. Friends, business partners, girlfriends, wives, family that I thought I couldn't cut off. But I learned that sometimes you got to make the hard decisions. I mean, some of these people, they were just bad for me. They were bringing me down. They weren't making me better. They were good for the time that they were there, but I grew up, not in age and maturity, but in mind and spirit. I was ready for the next level in my life. And I'll be honest with you, I've been on the receiving end of that. I've been cut off before myself, and yeah, it hurt at the time, but looking back, they were doing the right thing for me. Just don't tell my ex-wife that, Pagnotti.
So what's the next move?
The next move is freaks. It always has been. The question is he ready and willing to do what needs to be done?
This is messed up.
You take a moment to think about it, but think long, think wrong. The snafu should have been cleaned up a long time ago. With or without you, we got games to win.
Freak, you gotta handle your business.
Okay, we've all said our piece. You might cut me off as your manager, but I will always be your sister. Twin, this is on you. I might not like it, but I will respect any decision you make. Yvette, please.
Cece.
Yvette.
Where's Dom?
I had him call you.
Why?
I'm gonna cut right to the chase. My brother is deeply in love with you. And I'm ready to put our differences aside if you are.
Really?
On a string.
I'm with it.
Team Freak.
Team Freak.
All right, so if you're going to be down with the team, I got to show you the dap.
The dap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, look at this.
Oh.
1, 2, 3, shoot,
Shoot.
swish.
Swish.
Yeah. Again.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, okay. 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like that.
Cool, right?
Yeah.